finished up. Oh, we're live. Okay. La 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 la. All right. I didn't expect it to actually start quickly. All right. Hang on a second. You're just going to take a quick tour with me. This is the corn house. And this is like the mausoleum section of the corn house. And here is the picnic basket. And the picnic basket is everything. And I'm going to give you a quick peek into the picnic basket. It goes like this. Every single time any animal crosses on this farm, we take a little snip of something, the wool, the fur, the feathers, whatever, just so that we have a little something to remember them by. And then we put it in the basket. This, I gotta hold this. Okay. This is the basket. Just to give you, these are horsetails. Just to give you an idea how long we have been at this. This is the basket. And there are, I don't know, there has to be over 100 little snips of whatever. But when you do what we do, and we've had hundreds and hundreds of animals on this farm, we just keep plugging away at this. Most recent one is Sal. And that's Sarah, Ellen's daughter. Can you just answer that real quick? All right. So anyway, baby, I'm going to put this on here.
Hello.
Oh, Lordy. Okay, small interruption.
Hi, Ellen. How are you?
I need the phone because I can't get if anybody talks to me. Are they here?
Are you here?
Okay, I'm good here.
Okay.
I'm good here. Joey wants to see the baby, the pig.
Okay, I'm going to come inside. Hold on.
Okay.
Kathleen's outside. I have to come into the house. Bye.
Just.
Jeez.
Okay.
I had no idea what was going on.
Sorry. All right, let me just turn the heat down because I'm sitting right in front of the fire. And I have been out in the cold all day. And I've gotten accustomed to it. So what I need to do is I can't, for some reason, this won't let me see. This is going to be like really boring stuff at the beginning of this video, I promise. All right. So let me just pull this up on Facebook so that I also can see what anybody's posting, because for some reason it's not coming up on there. So what I do is every now and then I come out, no, I'm out in the corn house all the time. This is where I work. This is where I do my readings and my writing. But every now and then I come out here and I just scroll through and I look at who's in the basket and I think of all of their stories and all of the amazing times that we've had with them. And hang on, let me pull this up. I know I have to be able to pull this up at the same time. I'm so sorry this is chaos. But as soon as I have this up and I can see, all right. And let me get the sound up. I got it. Okay, we're ready, guys. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I am just going to reach into the picnic basket and we're going to see who comes up. And then I'm going to tell you their story. And I have to say, one of the feelings that I have the most when I look at any one of these 100 and something bags is regret. I always feel, no matter how hard we tried, we didn't do enough. And we get animals coming in here so compromised that oh, okay. Now, this is the first thing I pull out. And this one, I mean, everybody's probably heard about Ozzy Osbourne, but of course he jumps right out at me. And Ozzy Osbourne was the pig that changed my life. Possibly the most profound moment when I got this little pig who was born at a place where they raised pig for slaughter. He was just a couple of days old. He was dying. And they said, if you can save him, he's yours. And I spent, oh my God, weeks hovering and hovering over this pig, just trying to keep him alive. And I did. And he had so many issues. But he lived to be 6, and he shouldn't have lived to be 6. I will always, here's my regrets, and the regrets I cannot stop. He was always very weak in the back. He slipped on the ice, he hurt his back, and he never had a strong back after that. And every now and then I'd let him run loose in the yard, and we would just play and play, and then he would be sore for days. And Agnes, don't eat that cat food. Hold on a second. You are a bad dog. Hold on. But Ozzy was really like my true love. I met this pig, and I knew that I couldn't let him go. We clung to each other for 6 years. But he taught me that pigs are amazing, that they're brilliant, that they're so incredibly special, and I will always have a pig. That sounds crazy, but there's 8 of them here now, and I work my butt off just trying to make sure they have everything they need. I adore these pigs. Ozzy taught me that. Anyway, and then I wrote a whole book about them. But here was the thing. They're also very funny. Ozzy died on Black Friday. His name is Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, right? So he dies on Black Friday. I knew he was going to have to be put down. He was really struggling. And I was like, why are you doing this? And he goes, it's Black Friday. And I'm like, oh, crap. That's not funny. That's not funny. So we had this little argument, and I wasn't going to win because he had decided that he was going to do it. And the doctor came out and put him down because his organs were failing. And it was November 28th of 2014, because that's how we do this here. And he died at 11:11 a.m. And boy, I wait for Black Friday now. It's been 3 years, and I still fall apart. Anyway, Ozzy, you could just pull out a book and read about him. All right. Oh, holy mackerel! Cajun died 11/9/10. Cajun was this gorgeous, gorgeous horse that someone who boarded here had him here and decided that a horse that should be retired could still be ridden, and he just rode this horse until he was so dead lame, and then he, as often happens, he just kind of left him to us. And we had him for a few years after that. We worked really hard to keep him comfortable, but in the end his heels were just collapsing. So we moved him over here. He had one day, okay, here's Cajun's big story. Cajun was up the hill with a couple of the other old men on the other side of the farm, and one day he slipped and he fell on the ice, and he couldn't get up. And nobody could get him up. And we're like throwing down manure and whatever, and he's like, no, I'm done. And I just looked at him, and I was just mad. I was like, I'm trying so hard. So I screamed at him, Cajun, you get your ass up right now. And he looked up, and he was like, oh, Mommy yelled at me. And we're all heaving and pushing, and he scrambles to his feet. And it was the mommy voice. Sometimes the mommy voice comes in really handy. Never never forget about the mommy voice. Don't use it too often, because sometimes you got to get a horse up off the ice, and then it scares the crap out of them. They'll leap to their feet. That's Cajun's big story. And okay, sorry, I have been out in the cold all day and my lungs are unhappy. I'm gonna pull one more and tell one more. Oh God. Okay. Now I'll cry. I won't just be coughing. Years ago, we brought in a load of, load of horses from Alberta, and it was a farm. It was a PMU farm, and it had been closed down, and they were selling off all the Suffolk punches. They sent a whole bunch of them down to Texas, and I called and I reserved 8 of them, and three foals and a bunch of mares, and I'm like, they're mine. And I sent the money, and it was September, and I'm like, I'll get a trailer up there as soon as I can. And then the snow hit, and no trailers could get up there. Months go by, and no trailers can get up there. It was a bad winter. January thaw comes. Finally found somebody who could go in. I didn't know this guy from anybody, and I don't like to do that. But I finally got somebody with a trailer. to go up and get them out of this place. He gets down here, and we watch all of these horses come running off the trailer. And the babies looked good. The babies looked good, but the mares looked like hell. And one was so incredibly emaciated and skinny. It just broke my heart, and I couldn't figure out what the deal was with her. Anyway, what I then learned is that the woman who owned the place, I'll never forget her name, Enid O'Connor, she had turned them all out into a paddock and left them. Didn't feed them, didn't anything. They're just all out running loose in this paddock. So when they finally came down, the skinny one, her name was Cinnamon. She's my hero. She's one of my heroes. I adored her. She was a mama, and whatever food that she could forage for, she made milk, and she was feeding the 3 babies. One of them was hers, that's Chili Pepper, but she was feeding them all, and she wasted away to nothing. Don't you go after that cat. Wasted away to nothing, but she kept those babies alive. One of the babies was Catherine Mary, one was Mary Catherine, and the other one was Chili Pepper. The guy with the trailer, I found out later, had strangles on his farm. He did not disinfect his trailer. All of the babies got strangles within 2 weeks. They were all, we quarantined. They were all quarantined. And I spent, every day hovering over these animals, trying to get them to eat, making them special meals, the whole thing. And then one, Catherine Mary, we called her Kitty. Oh God, she was so desperately sick. And there's something called bastard strangles. It's bastardized. And instead of pussing out through your throat, whatever, it can come out inside of you. It will line your intestines, and then when everything blows open, they will just bleed out and die. And you don't know that they have that version until they actually die. And I knew the last day that we had Kitty, I knew that was that. And she was standing outside with her head propped up on the gate. She just wouldn't lay down. And I'm like, honey, just lay down. It's okay. And finally, I'm like, fine, I'll go if you want. And all the other horses stood in a circle around her, all of them. I said, I'll go. And I went in the house, and then I said, you know what? Damn it, I'm not leaving her. I went to all the trouble to try and get her out of that hellhole, and we saved her. We got her here, and I am not leaving her. So I went back outside, and she had laid down, and I just sat on the ground with her head on my lap and told her that we were so happy that she had been with us for at least this little bit of time. And we were so happy that we could hold her and spoil her and feed her and make her happy. And that if it was time, then it was time. And honest to God, right there with her head in my lap, she closed her eyes and went to sleep. And she was gone. And all these horses just stood in a circle with their noses down to the ground. And I'm sitting there hysterical with this. I'd never lost a horse before. And it was a baby. It was a baby. She was 8-9 months old. Anyway, and that is Kitty's forelock. And her half-sister Mary is still here. And her half-brother Chili, the son of Cinnamon, he went to Florida with Olivia, who has just been spoiling him for years. And she's in vet school down there, and we let her take him. He's ours, but she is loving him well. Okay, so that's the story of Kitty. Every now and then there's one. I had to get them out of there, so it was a choice. Use a hauler that I didn't know personally, but it was out of the snows would come again. We could have lost them all. Okay, so that's 3 stories from the picnic basket. If anybody else is interested in hearing another one, let me know fast. Otherwise, I am going to take my dog and go back in the house. And if there's anybody that anybody really wants to hear about, just let me know. But there are this is a quarter of what's in the picnic basket. Oh Lordy, see that's Calypso, that's Pearly May. All these rescues that come from all of these different places, and who we love, every one of them, so much. And again, You know, what if I had, here's the regrets. Always the regrets. This is a terrible basket to go into. But I will keep doing it because I believe in remembering every last one of them. All right, thank you for joining me. And every now and then I will do this, just because I think that, you know, I post when animals die. And I post a little something about them. And I don't think anybody understands how many times we have sat there and held them while they crossed and just sobbed over every last one of them and let them know that they were loved and that we were happy that they loved us. So, you know, bittersweet. They all came to a place where they were loved in the end. All right, thank you all for joining me live, and I'm sorry if I made you cry, but oh, that was one of my harder ones. All right, have a good evening.